Computer. Hi. Oh, I'm so glad you're here. And I do run from one engagement to the next, to the next, to the next. And so I'm so glad that you're here, and I'm excited. You're seeing my hair all wet. And I'm just so grateful that you're here and that we can share this time together. I want to let you know this is being recorded, and what is being shared you will get so beautifully in recording on YouTube. Anything that you share here will be shared for those purposes. The intent of this, and my beautiful husband who's standing,
I can just walk over there.
Come, yeah, I was going to turn the camera. Hi.
Hey.
My beautiful husband and I always set an intention every morning, every evening, before we do any video broadcast, before we're on Miracle Makers. We quite often share that with our guests. And as you are the stars, you are the star of this. I am so grateful that technology has made it possible for me to give to you wherever you might be on the planet. And I truly, truly want for you to have your best life. And I have found in the areas that I have courage, but those areas I have been able to expand so beautifully in. And those areas that I give myself over to the universe, to flow, to God, to nature, to oneness, whenever I've given myself over in those areas, I've been able to accomplish much more than I could have accomplished just on my own. So our intent for you so beautifully is for you to have everything that is for you to know today. Whatever it is, the next step in your alignment, in your ability to make miracles. Albert Einstein said it so beautifully. Either everything you look or you view or you experience, life, everything is either a miracle or it's not. And this is the beautiful gift that we get to co-create this life, this world. We get to co-create within ourselves how we see the world, how we create the world, how we allow the universe, oneness, all of it to use us. And so my intent is for you to know yourself, to have your questions answered, and for you to be on the next leg of your journey, maybe. And if you want to come join us at some point, if there's anything that you want to share, my husband co-founded Miracle Makers as well. Is there any other intention that you have? Step into the camera.
Just, be open for transformation and miracles. Be available for transformation and miracles.
Be open for transformation and miracles. You're going to hear some incredible stories in this broadcast. Those stories and the sharing might be exactly what you need to hear, or might be something a friend of yours needs to hear very, very soon, a beloved one. And so I'm going to take us to, we will have time, and actually this is a really good spot for us to begin this. If you will start in the chat, we can answer all of the questions and all of the things that we want to share in chat as well, and I will read them for you.
Is that the chat there?
This is the chat here.
And so those are a different looking one at the bottom. If you click on the one,
well,
click over this and hit the chat there.
Here,
chat.
That's Zoom chat group. So you can chat in the chat group and you can chime in. So the first step of your miracle makeover, and the first step of this is I'm going to ask you a group of questions, and I really want you to get out a notebook, and when you ask and your questions, we will talk about this. I've got my little diary. It says diary. I've got my little diary here, and so I'm going to be taking notes for you as they come up. These questions will help you understand who you are and how the world sees you, and just a great deal of awareness that you can have for yourself. So it's a little bit of a psychological game. It's self-aware awareness. Hello, Dr. Sarah and Greg. My question would be, for empaths in large gatherings like Conscious Life Expo, what techniques would you recommend for staying grounded, centered, and connected to God? And you can chat in the chat box, and your video, your face won't go on video, and that's one of the ways that you can keep yourself private. And dear one, sweet, sweet empaths, and I am one. I have a ritual. I do an extraordinary ritual before I open myself up to source, and in order to give to a large group or be around a group. So step one, when I know, if I can know beforehand that I'm going to be somewhere with a lot of empaths in a large area. Empaths feel emotions that other people are feeling. Empaths, all those that are empaths, energy will land on us or come to us, and it doesn't matter where the energy came from. When it comes to an empath, it winds up being our job, because it just flowed to us, to clean it up. And so that's the first thought or first experience. To fully understand, we can either fully trust the universe, source, whatever it is that helped us become and be empaths. And to some degree, everyone is an empath, and they're empaths in different areas of their life. If my husband knows a whole lot about football and about sports, he's passing this information on to our son Tyler and to our daughter Jazzy. But I know a great deal about emotional resilience, about being an empath. So I'm passing that information on, not just biologically, because we're both doing it biologically to our kids, but also through mirroring by example. Our kids pick up on it. And so the first thing is to realize and recognize that your parents were probably empaths as well, and they didn't know how to deal with it, and they suppressed it a great deal. And they probably suppressed it within you a great deal before you had language. And because it occurred in your life, but before you had language, you didn't know you had power over it. Any emotion that you can recognize and give words to and have power over, words give you power over, or have you understand it, so that it's not just an yucky energy. It then becomes an energy that you're able to fully, even if the way that you label it, you've got a label for it, you've got a description for it. The energy, quite often a brilliant energy. When we watched Oprah, the aha moment came on, and that too was, we were forever changed in a positive way, because we took a deep breath and some emotion got recognized, and that aha turned into something that we now associate with. So when you're in large groups, I love water. I love using smells and scents, and I usually have a lot of them around. So oils from Egypt, formulas that I make for my clients to help them be protected in the areas where they go, everywhere that they go. So using one of your senses to protect you. if you get a whole bunch of energy that you can't give words to, and you're feeling completely emotional, to fully go wash your hands. Lavender oils, citrus oils are really, really protective. Rosemary wakes you up. There's quite a collection of oils that I can tell you about, but essentially lavender calms you down. And before you get to the event, check in with yourself. But if you cannot give energy, I highly recommend you make yourself more comfortable, more available to be able to give energy. And so I'm going to say that another way, which is never give from the well, give from your overflow. If you're feeling drained, it's unless you are speaking or you have a great deal of commitments, take time to give to yourself. And I love the Heart Math Institute's way that they really have you connect with yourself. Your hand on your heart. I'm going to stand up just a little bit and show you. You place your hand on your heart. I might go back a little bit more. So you place your hand right here. Ooh, hi. You place your hand on your heart. This beautiful hand on your heart. You begin breathing into your heart, and you begin imagining pictures that bring you a great deal of energy. Thinking about my daughter, thinking about my son, thinking about Mir Baba's tree in Ojai, thinking about the beautiful people we just spent time with in Egypt, or the beautiful organization, All Ladies League. I catch an image of that with my mind's eye, and I experience sometimes when someone's energy is really, really strong on me, I will, or in me, I will think about what that experience smells like. What did my baby girl smell like? What was it like feeding Tyler baby food? And I really think about those experiences, and it fills my heart up. It fills my energy up. And it can, the first few times you do this, it might take a few minutes, but once you make it a practice, it becomes so easy and effortless because you've programmed it into your body, your heart, this flood of emotions, and you've got energies, meridians within your body that help wake you up. Just like we've gotten used to pressing this in case we have a headache. You can press this and you close your eyes and feel the blood flow in that region and the headache disappears and goes away. Well, we have a lot of those. Our heart is one of those. So Gayla Marie said, I can't stay on the call too long. And I'm going to answer this question because each empath has different ways. So throughout the evening, as we're getting questions up, we can jump on. And I know, Gayla, we'll jump to you really, really quickly. And we will come back and continue to talk about being heart-centered, being grounded. And I would highly recommend, if you have to leave this call early, make sure you check back for the questions that I'm going to ask you to tap in and answer for yourself that will help you become aware of who you are and how you see the world and what that mastery is. And so let's see if we can find, can you, let's see if I can click on you. It's our, there you are. So I'm going to unmute you very quickly, Gayla. And I so I'm glad that you're here. Let's click on you just for a second. Can you, awesome. Can you speak really quickly?
Oh, yeah. You just sent me that beautiful email that very much gave me a lot of optimism today. I faxed it to my doctor, by the way.
So
Yeah,
you said, I just want to recap for everyone else listening, because I didn't hear the very first part. Can you say that one more time?
Oh, you sent me a beautiful email today about the stuff going on in my body. You feel like it's scar tissue and nerve damage from past surgery. It's not like cancer again.
Yeah.
And you talked about the castor oil packs and stuff. So I just want a little more hope.
Oh, got it. So your question is around that, and you shared that you talked to your doctor today. Is there anything that you wanted to share about that?
Well, no, his office, when I told him I had spoken to you, because he said it's either another completely different cancer that's everywhere, or it's scar tissue, or it's an infection. So when I told him that you had said you felt like it was scar tissue, nerve damage from the scar tissue, she said, please fax that to us, because they're now getting an authorization for someone to do some testing. So I liked that they wanted to see what you referred me to, what you recommended.
Oh, that's so wonderful. And again, I love that you're working with your primary doctor. And it's easy to send an email, but it's really, they are the doctor that you're working with, primary. And I really want to share again that your body listens so carefully to what you're saying and what you're feeling and what you're experiencing. And so, I love that he shared that if it was an infection, this is for anyone else that's listening, if it's an infection, your body has a raised temperature or a low grade, really tiredness that comes on. If it is an overall cancer, and this is from doing so much pathology, doing so much research over the years, that if it is cancer, if it is a lot of your body also heats up, and in those particular regions and in that area. But about a year to a year and a half after surgery, even 8 months, 6 months, a lot of scar tissue, the nerve damage, the nerves, when they're growing back into regions of your body, can be damaged. So as the nerve is growing back in, it's really beautiful. I call it sort of rubbing your body down like this. And so you're working the cross fibers so that the blood supply in every direction in an area, once the skin on top and all of that area is healed, about 8 to 9 weeks out if you're not diabetic, to start massaging and letting the lymphatics, dry brushing, really, really work for you. And so, yes, stay in touch with your doctor very, very much. And keep me informed. And I'm so glad you're sending them the info, because medicine is very much everyone that I know that got into medicine in the med schools that I went to, everyone learned together. We learn from each other. Everyone that I know that went to med school, all the doctors had a really great heart for wanting to heal. And the doctors that I worked with, up until I met my husband, that's when I officially stopped being a doctor or a physician and moved into being a reverend faith healer, something completely different, using medical intuition. It took me a number of years to fully recognize all of the skill sets. And so I want to make sure everyone is working with someone that is licensed, that you trust, that this is never meant to, you need those analysis. If your body's sending you signals, go find a holistic practitioner that can help you and let stuff like this supplement. And so, Gail, is there anything else that you wanted to share? I'm looking for you again up here. Is there anything else?
I don't know how to find you. No, I just, you just took a great deal of pressure off of me when I got your response, because, you know, the doctor was, I just don't see how it can be cancer again, because we got everything. It would be a whole different cancer. It just makes no sense. But so for you to give something that made sense, and which was something he had also suggested, made me feel a lot better.
So I'm so glad. And castor oil, for those, thank you, Gail. I'm so glad. And just tuning into your body again. I feel like you've been taking, even though you haven't taken the best care yet, you are taking better care in 2018. It's really beautiful to experience, like you're tuned into your body, and this has made you tune in even more and follow your gut, follow your instincts. This is also coming around following your instincts. So thank you.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. And castor oil packs are on my website. If you go to Dr. Sarah Larson and you Google castor oil pack, or castor oil, you'll come up with a bunch of articles that are written there. Dr. McCullough, which I learn from all the time, recommends it. Dr. Oz has recommended castor oil packs. There are at least 250 things that the Edgar Cayce Institute, Edgar Cayce was the one that made it really, really popular. I happen to also have seen it in Egypt on the walls and in the temples where they talk about that as well. And so it's so beautiful just to have that reference there on the website. And thank you for writing, Gail. Thank you for being here. We're going to go, and again, we are going to do an exercise. And Gail, I love you. I can just see the lightness that your body brought. So thank you, thank you. And we understand that you have to run. So we're going to go to, I think I'm going to unmute you for a second. Hi.
Hi.
Yay. I know you're not on camera, but I want to make sure that I tap into your energy and can answer for you how to. There's as many empaths on the planet as there are as many empaths on the planet as there are people, because we're all empathetic in our own way. And so is there a question that I can answer for you, or is there something that I can tap in for you?
It's just that I've been to Conscious Life Expo, and I just feel so jittery all the time when I'm there, and I'm always trying to ground and protect myself, but it just keeps entering me. And this year I do want to go, and I just want to know if they had any advice for me specifically.
So what I hear is when your blood sugar gets low, energy will come around you. Your gut is your biggest factor for staying stable. Does that sound right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, awesome. And so I would love for you to bring something very specific so that when you start to feel jittery, and I would really recommend it sort of be like a nut or something a little bit crunchy so it can break up the energy. I'm going to go back to my image while you're talking. So this is something that I learned. It's a really funny thing. If you pick up on someone's energy, and you can literally break negative energy by sort of going all over your body and collecting sort of the energy, bringing it into your hands, and then breaking it. And again, this over time is a learned skill, and it's worked for me so beautifully because everything is energy. I learned this from and teaching from a healer in India, third generation, maybe even further generation, but he was Oxford trained, and you collect all your energy and you contain it in your hands. Then you open it up like this and you just breathe, and whatever might not be you can break that energy. So it's going here and you're literally breaking the energy. And your subconscious mind doesn't know the difference. Such a beautiful thing. Your subconscious mind doesn't know the difference. And the way that your body listens to your own voice. So you can even say, collect all the energy. And you're like, if there's any energy that's not mine, I'm collecting that right now. and I'm giving it back. And I love the word miracle maker. So I go something to the effect of, I'm giving this over to the miracle maker. And over. So I give it over to God. I give it over to nature. I give it over to whatever it is the energy believes God, the universe is. And so it literally is over.
That is so awesome. Thank you. That's a great technique.
Yes, awesome. And I would sit with this, and I would, in places that you've gone to before and you felt funky energy, the way that you can do this is you kind of like, you're grooming yourself. And so you're collecting all of the energy, and you're like, is this my energy? And you're kind of just like doing this. Oh, yeah. Okay, so I collected all of that. And so I'm sitting there and no one else is looking, or it's not unusual to kind of stretch yourself and reach out and get energy. And then it's like, in my mind, I'm like, miracle maker, over. So I can do that in a restaurant, anywhere that I like. And I have a few other videos on YouTube that talk about clear mind. You can touch your mind and imagine it going to the clouds. And any thought or anything someone said to you, if you don't want it, you can clear your mind. Clear mind. You imagine the sky taking it. You put your hand on your heart. And I put my hand on my heart and I go, open heart. And I imagine myself in a field of roses. And so it's such a beautiful gift to give myself, to be in a field of roses. And I smell the roses. Whatever it is that other person said is now across from me in this field of roses. And then I put my hand on my belly and I go, relaxed being. And I imagine, either if it's like you're at a family gathering, or you're with at a nonprofit organization and someone just has harsh energy over and over again, you can put your hand on your belly and imagine dunking them into water and kind of cleaning them up, or the energy that they're putting out. And you just imagine relaxed being. Or you imagine their words going into a pond, like landing in a pond, rocks, and they're sinking down to the bottom, and the ripple is happening on the water rather than to you. So and this has been at Conscious Life Expo or on the streets of Los Angeles, people will start yelling and kind of spewing out harsh words in weird ways. And you don't have to get any of their energy by their words going into water, flowers, roses, beautiful land being in your imagination, distance between you. Every one of their thoughts are going up to the clouds. And so you can touch your forehead as well, touch your heart, and touch your belly. Clear mind, open heart, relaxed being. I hope that answers your question. And I am going to be at Conscious Life Expo. I'm in booth 103, and as much as I can be there, I'm covering it as media as well. But we are going to do massage there. We're going to have beautiful oils for you to try. We're going to have a lot of the nonprofits that I work with represented in some shape or form, to see if you want to volunteer or align yourself with one of those. And definitely, while I'm there, as many free readings that we can do, I will be doing at Conscious Life Expo. So that's Friday, Saturday, Sunday in Los Angeles, February 9th and 11th. We are going to be filming quite a bit, Miracle Makers on UBN Network, and we'll have all of these extraordinary luminaries. And I have Matt Kelly from Radio Vermont coming in to record all of this for us. So if there's someone that you want to see, please send me a note. If you look at Conscious Life Expo, and you're like, oh, I really want to learn something from this person, write it to me in an email at Dr. Sarah Larson. We'll ask the question when we're with them to make sure you get an answer to those questions. And so this is hope um, and so let me jump to someone else, and then and again, if you write me on chat, you don't have to go publicly. Audrey, you are on.
Goodness, can you hear me?
I can hear you. I'm so glad you're with us.
I just want to say thank you, because those tips, I don't know how to get on here. Mute my...
There's a camera down in the corner.
Oh, there we go. Oh,
Yes.
it says stop video.
No, so it means your video's on, but somehow we're not seeing it because your camera and your video might have a protective setting.
Yes, you know what?
There you are.
You know what? Oh, first of all, I just want to say thank you, because those tips you gave were so fabulous. The tips that you just gave us for impasse.
Oh, I'm so glad. And to really get that wherever it came from, when it lands with you, once you feel it and you get ugh, even the word ugh associated with it, you now have power over it. When you don't accept it, what you resist persists. And so it's so funny if you have all of this energy come and land on you and you're like, nope, there's no energy here. Nope, I'm fine, no, and you're tearing and you're feeling all of this emotion. If you don't acknowledge it, you can't ever put it down.
Oh, yes, I just so appreciate that. I actually, what happened was that I know this person, and she will not leave me alone, and she wants to be with me, and she's like a bully, and I was going to write a letter today and break our contracts, whatever contract that is, and then burn it or something. But you gave me some ideas how to deal with this, because I'm so uncomfortable being with her, and I always try to stop her from being around me or coming over, and she's always wanting to come over, and I feel terrible about it, but she's extremely disturbing. So I'm going to try to do some of those things that you mentioned. Yeah.
And I'm going to go back to my screen just for a second. I so appreciate just how beautifully you put that. I appreciate it so much, because one of the things that we have to fully understand is if we're not in joy, if we're not in flow energy or feeling ourselves, when we feel like we have to be for another person, we hurt them and we hurt ourselves to some degree. It's a hard, I learned it from Carolyn Mace, and I'm so excited she's going to be at Conscious Life Expo as well. But she really said, but your body can't lie. And when you're in the presence of someone, and it's not that they're bad or you're bad, just together, the frequencies are toxic to each other.
Yes.
And so and having done it in a nice way, having done it in a kind way, having done it, and I am a people pleaser, and I came from a background where girls and children were not allowed to have feelings. They had to be of service. We weren't allowed, and that region area is really, really growing. But there was only 2 ways a woman or a young lady could show up, and it's very reminiscent of the 1950s, 60s, and some cultures. Within our country here in the U.S., many cultures, many women still have the Stepford wife, or she cooks, She cleans. She's nice to everybody. She loves puppies and children's, and she's going to make children. And that's a core desire of hers, to be in a relationship. And all of those assumptions about how a woman is. And when we measure ourselves against that, I'm supposed to be this way or that way, we deplete ourselves. Number one thing, you are here for God, source, universe. You're here as a vessel to flow. And so in this person's company, and especially if they've been out of integrity with you or with someone that you respect in the community, and it's very, very evident that they've been out of integrity, you really reference the behavior. And you say something to the effect of, listen, I don't know how to be with you anymore because we're so not in integrity. But when I'm with you, because and then you reference the behavior. So I've set boundaries and said, don't call me, and you've for a few days or a few hours, or give me space, and you still called. That for me makes us out of integrity. Or if it's been with a community member and something they were supposed to pay, or they were supposed to do something and they didn't, and just saying, I would feel out of integrity having you come with me into this community, because then and until you make it right, that payment right. And so you're also highlighting maybe something that's positive about them. I know that you are here because you see that I can see you, and I love that you want love, and I really respect how much you give in to love and how much love means to you. And so you can highlight something positive, but it's got to be a very clear stop energy. There is a push and pull energy, and I teach a whole workshop on how to be a great stop energy. And I will sometime in the future, in one of our Mondays, teach us how to be a push, a stop, a go, a clear boundary energy. And I learned that from Lionheart Institute. When I was with them, they shared so many great techniques. But ultimately, you've got to even put up your hand sometimes and say, stop. You can't have, your body language has to be consistent. You have to make it the behavior. And you have to also then say, I would be out of integrity. Oh, someone else is not muted. Is there anything else that I can answer for you?
Well, that has been extremely helpful, because my behavior was just not to answer her phone calls, very seldom, because she's calling me frequently, actually begging me to take a trip with her, and I just cannot do that. But she is leaving the country, and which is a big relief to me. But I know if I don't handle this, I'll have to meet another person just like that in order to speak up and stop that intense behavior. It's just amazing stuff. You know?
Thank you so much for bringing that second point up as well. We are the source of every experience in our life. If we can fully get responsible and go full, whatever the energy is, whatever the person is, whatever it is, if we can fully get responsible for it, we can then give it over to God. So it's that, or give it over. And we are designed to learn lessons. And so the other thing is, what about me do I need to see with this relationship? And in every area that you have repetitive, but you will let go of one person. And so again, using words to create power over a person, yourself. So creating words that say, whenever this energy shows up, I will really tune in and listen from the beginning. This is what I'm getting, is this is not the first relationship that's been like this.
Oh.
And then the other part is, the other part for you, very, very much so, is this has been a way that you have kept yourself small.
Yes.
Instead of giving yourself energy, there was some energy of giving your power over to other people. And much of the culture in the past, the Asian woman, the submissive woman, the good housewife and the keeper in the kitchen, much of that has been superimposed. We've imposed that on ourselves, and in subtle ways, what we have shamed ourselves or compared ourselves to people that are doing well in that area. So the right way around this is to really tap into what gives you joy and to create boundaries. And when a new friend comes in or someone comes knocking, when your sense says, no, no, nope, no, you're meant to give to yourself, you really tune in and give to yourself.
Thank you. Yeah, that's
So
my problem, is not creating boundaries, not speaking up, and hiding. Just not even going out of my front door because it's so uncomfortable, because people like that gravitate to me. They just take over, and I know I'm part of the scenario, so I am allowing it, but I want to stop that behavior. It's not a healthy behavior. Yeah.
I'm so grateful that you fully recognize that. And what you're here to do, you had to hermit for a little while, but you have to begin visualizing, seeing yourself in multiple places and being the leader now. You hermited to heal and to really create boundaries. You've done that. And you've got to write down a letter to yourself that says something to the effect of, dear love, you are so beautiful. No one else can do what you're here to do. Every time you say no to any request that is not on your path, you get to say yes to yourself. It's now easy for you to say no. It's easy for you now to let people go. It's easy for you to do it in a gentle way that's in integrity with yourself.
Yes, that's what I want, especially with this person. But
Yes.
I've got to do it within the next few days. I've
And,
got to
and yes.
state how I feel, and I have not really helped her because I have not told her how I feel. I traveled with her before and been extremely miserable, and she considers that the trip of a lifetime, and I never voiced how I felt about it, and I just I want to conclude this. I know she's the best teacher for me right now, the biggest teacher for me to come to grips with this. I guess it's an empath deficit, because I just never could speak my truth to her.
And that started long before now.
Oh, yes.
She just, so by being able to speak truth to her,
Yes.
many people will benefit.
I've got to do it.
You've got to do it. Write the letter, write the note to yourself. Dear love, signed your best self. Live your best life. Signed genius at the bottom. And so whenever, and carry that with you. Start writing down a bliss list in your pocket. Carry with you what makes you happy, what brings you joy. You see a hummingbird fly by, add that to your list. So that you grow in your own personal power. And so thank you so much we're going to jump over to, I think, Marie, can you hear us?
Yes.
Oh, yay. I'm so glad you're here, Marie. And as you make the most incredible food, we eat to live. Marie, I want you to start with your website.
I'm working on it as we speak. This is funny.
Okay, so
I'm in
on
the midst of update. I'm updating it right now.
You're updating it. So Marie is on Facebook. We often interact quite a bit. She's quite a miracle maker. And so if you're following me a little bit on Facebook, you'll see her food is what caters all of our events. We try and have something of hers at every gathering. And she'll be at Conscious Life Expo if you want to meet her. She's a nutritionist. Darling, what can I answer for you?
Okay, I guess this was the most recent one. You're without naming names, when someone else is, and I guess it's just me, actually, I answer my own question, taking it personally but if somebody else is not in integrity with themselves and they catch themselves or they've been called out in a lie, and it's for myself of how to handle that and be okay with it, loving that person just as much as I've always loved them, but also explaining to them how I feel it's really important that what they're doing is not, I'm not in agreement with it. And so I've been kind of wrestling with that all day today. And I've already spoken my piece. I've shared how I felt. And that person just seems to be, well, that's how it is. And it's okay. And that's really all I have going on right now.
I'm so glad that you're sharing, because all of us have to deal with lying to ourselves sometimes, the ways that we lie to ourselves. We're reading the news, and much of the news is lying to us. Much of the recorded history we're finding out was sensationalized, or so lying is a big part of our society. And it's funny, one study that I read about lying said when people first meet, likely to lie to you, I think they said 20 times in the first 30 minutes. And they were
Wow.
like, in some subtle way or some subtle shape. And every relationship that you're in, every single one of them, and I believe in no shape or form can someone be around you, and we're all tested in this. So I'm creating my reality. If my friends, people around me are lying to me, it's because there's some area around that I've got to fully clean up with myself.
Well, the funny thing is, it had nothing to do with me. It was just shared to me what they went through. And so when I called it out as a lie, that it was time to come clean, that you were caught in it, and now it's time to fix it. And actually, it's a beautiful thing, because now you could look at it and you can change that. And so that's where the disagreement was. It didn't affect me personally, except that I took their defensiveness personally, I guess, is what it was.
Right. And so I really, and it's so great. Anything can either inform you or affect you.
Right.
Everything informs you or affects you. And so what's beautiful is, and so Marie, your camera is off. Every time
My camera doesn't work on my.
It doesn't work. Okay. It's good to know. Thank you. So I'll just stay on me and we'll hear you talk. And I'm so glad that you're here, sweetheart. It's so important in our society. We've got to be able to embrace the liar, the person lying, and get and understand they're doing it for a need for love or approval, or they're afraid of, there's fear in there of being able to tell the truth. That's part one. Part two is it's extraordinary to be in a place and and our childhood is an example of this. You and your family, your siblings, went through the same childhood, but each one of you remember every holiday different, and every moment or every experience has multiple people involved, realities in it. There are as many realities as there are people. And those that we agree on with our senses, we continue to co-create over and over and over again. So if I'm all emotional and my husband's all emotional and we're talking about an event, we are co-creating that event. If we're feeling about it, sensing about it, energized about it, repressive about it, we're co-creating it. If we're excited about it, and and our body and the fabric in which our DNA works, the fabric in which the consciousness, the soup of reality, doesn't know the difference between when we're doing it from the past, doing it in the current moment, or doing it in the future. So if I'm having worry about my son or about my daughter or about someone that we're caring for in Miracle Makers, then and Greg and I are in a worry energy, and we've got emotion about it, then we're amplifying and co-creating the field that creates that result. In the current moment, it's like ripples of waves going out, and we're co-creating that. If we're thinking about the future and we're highlighting the best possible outcome, preparing our bodies for the best possible outcome, feeling the greatness of that, the ripples that are going out from our heart, the way that even our sweat glands release sweat during that moment, and sweat and smell travels like through like magnets. It's a magnetic thing. And this is, again, a lot of science to explain why when lying comes up or emotions come up, we create exactly what it is, if we're talking about the past, the current moment, or the future. So
that's interesting. Yeah.
Isn't that interesting? Isn't that
because I when they were sharing it with me, and it had nothing to do with me, but I knew it was a lie that they've been living. I was like, I was upset because they didn't see it. And it caused a lot of friction, and I get it, because I guess it had some recall for me and something else, because it really, all I just had to remove myself from the situation.
Yeah,
and I didn't. I held on to it.
The gift that you give yourself in the current moment by talking about this is really get clear and present with where you wanted it to go. Mm-hmm. There are as many realities as there are people.
Right.
And so if it's someone talking about someone else and they misunderstood, and I've got a great relationship with both of those people, and I find both of those people to be in integrity, I will help clean up the work. And one example of this is one of my clients shared with me that another one of my clients years before had borrowed her art to sell for her, and then she never got the art back. She thought that the other client years ago had stolen her art. And so I said, darling, let me find out and what happened there. And I knew that the other person had a little bit of a history of not being fully honest with people. So person A shared with me about person B. And person A to me had been fully in integrity, fully emotional, fully in integrity. Person B in my own life had not been fully in integrity. I knew it was very likely that that had happened, but I'd chosen to love person B no matter what. I made a commitment based on how they showed up for me at various times in my life, and it's an assignment from God. She's an assignment from God. This person B, I went to and said, person A said this, and person B told me, no, that's not what happened. I was trying to help her, which is very true of person B. She tries to help everybody. Person B just doesn't have a lot of organization in her life to be able to follow through. And she says, let me see if I can figure out what happened. I'd given it to another person to give to her. So for all of these years, I thought she'd already gotten the art back.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Long story short, I went to person A. Person A said, there's no way that person B is going to give me the art back. She is just in every, every noun that you don't want to say that is polite that you can say, because she had a very negative charged experience. So I said, darling, how much was the art worth? And she told me the amount, and I said, I will gift that to you in working together let me see if I can deal with person B. And so person A said, I accept it. And I said, person A, please forgive person B. Do Ho'oponopono work. Please see her in the best light. So disorganized person B with 3 storage units, the size of what's it called? Not, those truck bed storage units.
Mm-hmm. Long beds.
She had 3 of those storage units, plus she had stuff at everybody's house.
Wow.
This person found the art. And because setting it up with person A, that it was healed, that whatever the value monetarily was going to be delivered to her, opened up person's A heart to a new possibility. Person B, who is not fully organized, but and could have a lot of problems finding it, being okay with, and I wasn't sharing necessarily with A and B what the other person was saying about the other person.
Mm-hmm.
Just created the possibility. And of course, person B found it, got the art. We got the art back to person A. Person B really learned a lesson, so to speak, because whatever it was that she offered and was trying to do, she could really see how hurt people can be by making promises that you can't deliver on, or by not being organized. Person A, whether they forgave person B or not, you have to create the situation where person A believes it can be healed, person B believes it can be healed, and only time will tell in this scenario if they do actually go back to being healed and kind and a genius community together. And person A doing great, person B doing great, much more in integrity in every area of their life. Did that answer your question for you?
Yes, that helps a lot. It gives me a different perspective, at least, for sure.
So we, as the bridge between 2 people, have to create a possibility that it could be okay over here and it could be okay over here. And then the free energy then makes it better than it could have been before.
Mm-hmm.
So without you being the bridge in the middle. So okay. I love you so much. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for all you do for Miracle Makers. And Marie will be at Conscious Life Expo in February, and you can always find her. She's commenting on Facebook. I'm always highlighting her as well. Marie Espino. It's so funny. You have a middle name too. That I'd love for you to say your full name, Marie.
Marie Teresa Kovacs Espino.
Kovacs Espino. So it's Marie Kovacs Espino. She is brilliant. She helps her planet so much, so many areas. Miracle Maker, Marie, thank you for being on.
Thank you.
And I think we had a question from someone that sent it in privately. You know who you are, and you don't enjoy computers and microphones. So I'm going to answer your question for you. And this is, so when I tune into your energy, what I feel is that there's been a great deal of, it's interesting, but anesthesiologist or sedation that's been around you at different times. And when they spoke over your body, when you were in sort of pain states or pain-free states, what they spoke over your body gave some of your power over to them. And so you no longer fully trust your gut. I'm going to say that another way. Your subconscious mind and your body have had a little bit of trauma from things people have said around you when you've been in a very suggestible place. So as a result, you've put on a little bit of weight. And this weight will lift off when you do a little bit of processing with yourself to really command, I live in this body. I'm beautiful. I'm brilliant. I feel this body. And you don't have to say words like I'm beautiful and brilliant. You can choose kind words that work for you, that will allow, I love, I am that I am. I love those words. I am that I am. And you allow, and again, I call it miracle maker. You let the big miracle maker have your body, and everything else is handed off to the not the not miracle makers. So anything that keeps you from God is let go. Anything that might have had energy over you when you were sedated, or even if you were a little bit too much alcohol at times. Sometimes there's a reason it's called spirits. Alcohol is called spirits. It actually causes holes over a long period of time. There are syndromes that go with those areas. Wernicke's, all of these different syndromes come in because your brain gets holes in them. The holes in your brain, again, I deal with chakras, I deal with the energy of, and the intelligence that's written on the temple walls, written in Chinese medicine, written in old medicine, as well as learning the most modern medicine. And so when there's holes in your brain, when there's actual holes and missing matter, and alcohol, when you have repetitive alcohol, and I'm not saying that's what's happened with you, but what I am saying is there's little holes or little rips, and those little rips in your body require you to press on yourself. You press on yourself and you say, I am that I am. And to me, that is the big miracle maker is in the body. The big miracle maker, take over these cells. The big miracle maker, I am safe. I give myself over to you. You are the energy along with me, the I am that I am in this body, exactly as I am right now, as exactly as I'm commanding it right now. So if you've had surgery and you've got funky energy, or you're not completely back in your body yet, fully do this. I am that I am. If you made love to someone and that energy turned into trauma in your body, you can press yourself back into your body. And this is a very good way to ground. What your body is your biggest gift that the miracle maker gave to you. It's amazing. It generates your heartbeat, your lungs, your skin, all sorts of things it does for you. And it's incredible that it literally sweats. It sweats out what you need from the environment around you. And so if you're getting on a treadmill, if you're walking, if you're in that space as well, and you really start embodying your body, I am that I am, you start sweating and you really experience, you will release the toxins, you will repair the tears, you will become yourself, your brain matter, your neurons, all of that will begin to realign with your true self, your miracle maker self that can give yourself over to earth, I mean, over to God, I mean, over to the universe, I mean, over to what created you, the God of your understanding, or over to science and over to possibility, however you would label that. So I hope that answered your question. Lena, I'm so glad that you're here. Let's see if we can, and I unmuted you. I'm so glad that you're here.
Me too.
Yes, anything that I can answer for you. Oh, there you are. Woohoo.
Yeah, really glad to be here tonight.
It's so awesome. And so what comes in for you as we're chiming in? What can we answer for you?
Don't have specific questions actually, to be honest, because I'm still at work.
Okay, awesome. So I want to just give you a little bit of, I think we'll do this, and I want you to write down the answers. This will really be great awareness. When these questions came in, and this is for everyone that's on the video, we're going to think of 3 animals, and then we're going to go on a journey together. And I want you to write down your answers as you're thinking of this stuff beautifully. So that when we answer what it means, you've already got the answers. And so the first thing that I want you to think about is 3 animals. Think of the first animal. And I know my husband will give me permission to share his answers.
Yeah.
So my husband thought of an eagle, an elephant, and then he thought of a rainbow trout.
Oh, wow.
Right. And so I want you to think about 3 animals. And then and this is for everybody. This is, you'll thank me when you do this for yourself, because you'll get so much out of this. And I want you to write 3 qualities for each animal.
3 qualities for each
3 qualities. So my husband picked eagle first, and his thought around that was, one of them was they were soaring. One of his reasons for the elephant was they are so much about family. And the third one is, we did this last night before he went to bed, because I wanted him to kind of do this before we did it live. And he was like, he was just so tired. He's like, that's the only one I can think of right now. And and so one of his reasons was the only one I can think of right now. So we wrote that down. So go ahead, everybody, write down 3 animals. And your answer this is so true for you. And then the first question, Lena, whenever you're ready, go ahead and just look up. And when you've written the 3 qualities down, I'm writing them for myself as well.
Yeah, writing them too. Yep.
Awesome. Yay. And So the next step is you're walking down a street, and it's your perfect street.
Okay.
So go ahead and describe the street.
Let me give you 1 second. Let me put myself.
Sure. So, okay,
Hello?
oh, there we go. Awesome. So glad to hear. Okay, awesome. A little bit more privacy. So, walking down a street, it's the perfect street.
Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. And so you're describing this street. Every one of us is writing this down, what the street is, what it feels like, what you think about while you're walking down the street. Go ahead and write that down.
Okay.
And you can draw some images because you'll remember this too. If you want to sketch in some, like just a quick image, then as you're walking down the street, you see a key.
Mm-hmm.
And describe the key.
The key.
The key, like a door, a key.
Mm-hmm. A big round key, like the old-fashioned one, you know, the round has a bar on top and there's a little stick sticking out.
That's beautiful. And then you see a cup, and describe your cup.
My cup.
And you can, if you want to describe the street that you're going down, describe your street.
Yeah, it's a street. It's almost like a trail street with lots of trees on both sides. And there are deers walking around. And houses are more like small houses. And the sunshine is coming down from the tree leaves.
Beautiful. That's so beautiful. And then you found the key, and you've described the key, and now you find, as you're walking along, you see a cup.
A cup.
A cup.
It's it's like a teacup. Okay, and you know, with the knob and also a saucer in the bottom. I think it's a white color. It's a very plain teacup.
Beautiful, beautiful. And then you see a tree. Describe your tree.
It's a redwood tree.
A redwood tree. And what does it feel like?
It's ancient. It's very loving, very generous.
Beautiful. And now you see a wall. It's a wall in every direction, as high as you can see in every direction.
Oh, wow. That feels like a wow in the middle of the wow.
So
it's brick walls.
It's brick wall. And what do you do when you get to this wall?
Touch it.
You touch it.
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful. I'm gonna share with you what each of these mean. We'll come back to the animals in a minute, but you're walking down the street and you've described your perfect street. And Lena, this is how you see life.
Right.
Describe how you saw your street.
Lots of trees on both sides, and the sunshine coming down from the tree leaves. Small houses, more like a countryside.
And so this is your beautiful life. This is life. This is how you really connect with life.
Right.
As you're walking down, you see a key.
Right.
And you described it as an ancient key, a beautiful key. And everybody, I hope you did this for yourself, because you will learn so much about, you value ancient knowledge. You value what's ancient within you. You describe your key again.
So it's like this Asian key with the round key and with the bar. I can draw it out real quick and with a little stick.
And
So
this is something that can
like that.
really, it's so beautiful. It will really help you really
Yeah.
understand how you see knowledge.
Mhm.
And it's ancient, it's very useful.
Right.
Connected to something as well. It's
Right.
something you can trust. Knowledge is, because this key is sturdy and solid and something you can trust. And then your cup. I love how you described your cup.
Yeah. My cup is it's a very plain cup that like coffee mug with the little handle and the saucer on the bottom. It's a plain white teacup.
And very elegant is what I got. Very,
Yeah.
very elegant. Your love, that's love. Your cup is love. It's, you drink
Right.
it like tea.
Mm-hmm.
A cup represents love.
Mm-hmm.
And if the way you want love to be simple, not complicated, with the saucer, you want love to have manners. You want, right, all of those things to show up so beautifully and elegantly.
Right.
Does this, and it's really beautiful because once you start knowing this about yourself,
Mm-hmm.
and for everyone else who's doing this, we're going to ask them these questions too. And what's this is a funny one. This is but a tree is how you experience your sex life. And yours is the redwood tree. It's ancient, generous, it's giving. What were some of the other words that you had?
Yeah, it's a beautiful tree, an Asian tree, generous, loving, and wise too.
And wise too. And so really to see this for yourself, when someone comes along and identified this is what love is and this is what all of this is for you, it's so beautiful to fully recognize that. And so I love that so much. We'll go back to here. I love that so much that you can see yourself that way. And then the and to really these are ways that you can call it in for yourself as well.
Right.
So literally in the energy field, by planting a tree or connecting with the tree, a redwood tree, a beautiful tree, that's a place that you imagine, instead of it being something that's missing. You've got the teacup in your life. You've got the key in your life. You've got the tree in your life, and you feel joy around it. And that's one of the ways that you can also call it in. And then the wall is really interesting. But the wall is, and I hope everyone did this, but this is what you do around the wall. And you answered that for yourself. Is I love that you said that you touched the wall. And so the wall represents death. And so it's really beautiful to have death be fully represented here. And one of those thoughts or one of those areas so beautifully to experience, fully experience. You're going to put your hand on it. You're going to so embrace it. It's not something you're resisting. Some people are like, well, a wall comes up, I'm going to walk in the opposite direction. When this first came up for me, I said, I'm going to get a ladder and I'm going to climb over the wall. And it's very interesting because I said, that's part of the work that I do. I call and work on both sides of the veil or both sides of the wall. And so it's so amazing to have that fully present and to really really get it. And so do you feel comfortable sharing your animals?
Yes, I do.
Oh, okay, wonderful.
Yeah, so I have 3 animals. The first one is the dragon. It's a blue dragon, light blue dragon. It's a mystical animal in Chinese culture. Yeah. And the second one is a white whale. what's the name for that? It starts with the B. The white whale has a big bumble on the forehead. It's a beluga whale. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Beluga whale.
Yeah, beluga whale. And the third one is a deer.
A deer. Oh,
Yeah.
that's so beautiful. It's just so beautiful. It's so stunning to really, really capture this. And I hope you wrote down qualities for each one of those, because it's, again, so extraordinary, the qualities. A dragon is how you wish the world saw you and experienced you.
Right.
And it's blue dragons, especially lucky. You know, blue is the energy of creating the universe. It's the expansive dragon, right? It's mystical. All of the qualities that you wrote down, this is for self-awareness. So you truly know what you value. And when you know what you value and when you give words to it, you have power over it. And so it's such a beautiful gift to give yourself power over it. And so the dragon, and really before you go out, before you go to gatherings, before you go to, so for other people that ask, like Conscious Life Expo or places that energy can be absorbed, you want to send the blue dragon, or in my husband's case, the eagle ahead of you. You want the blue dragon and the eagle to do the work and to be in that space when you show up. So you're embodying, you've created a connection from your home or from your car or where you feel safe into that next environment.
Right.
So you send the blue dragon. That's how you see, you wish the world saw you. Then how the world actually sees you is the second one. The beluga whale.
Right.
So tell me what you wrote down about that.
So what I wrote down for the beluga whale is loving, generous, and also elegant.
And elegant. So that's how loving, generous, elegant. And there you can write even more qualities as they come up, because in shaman, dream medicine, the subconscious, Carl Jung's, all of those different philosophies tap into these and look it up, but that's how the world sees you. And Native American story, beluga whales used to, and just whales in general, offer themselves up to the Indians. The natives, the Eskimos, never had to go hunting for them. They would, and this is really important to really understand this about yourself as well, when the energy or the tribe called it in, the whale would offer itself up to the natives. If you're familiar with that story, it's really, really beautiful to fully get. And then the third animal, the deer, is what you actually are. And what you actually are is, how did you describe that for yourself?
I describe as very also elegant and also alert and very, how to describe this? They are very agile. They can move around very fast.
They're very fast, agile.
Agile.
And so that's what you actually are. And here is medicine. The natives, especially where you are here, considered them the medicine. They considered every part useful. There's nothing that's wasted. And they saw them as such regal creatures as well. And so it's very interesting what you've chosen, and to really let yourself, with the dragon, you send it before you. With the beluga whale, it's some of the challenge that you have as well. And so my husband's was the elephant, how people actually see him. If people see you as the beluga whale, and there's an energy that you're going to have to sacrifice yourself to the group somehow, that's an automatic energy that you're sending out. So this is something that you can become mindful of and notice how you might be in subtle ways sending that signal out. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does, totally.
And and then the deer, how you actually see yourself. And it's really, really beautiful to get that level of understanding. That's the medicine that you're bringing. And every time you do this, different animals might come up, but very often that first one rarely ever changes. And that first one, sending that before you to do the energy work, your work. If you have a really big project coming up, to really send that before you so that it can take care of all of the details. And again, it's your symbol, it's your energy, it's your and Carl Jung, all kinds of archetype, all kinds of work with this. It's amazing because you get to co-create with this dragon, this amazing energy, whatever it is that you would have. So, Lita, I'm so glad that you're part of the coaching program. I'm so glad you're part of Miracle Makers, and I'm glad you're here. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Larson.
You're so welcome. I want to make sure everyone that wants to have questions and answers answered winds up raising their hands or sending me a signal. Let me know, because there are several people here that say they do not, they're just glad to be listening. They're very glad to be listening and they don't want to be on camera. So we are going to do Ho'oponopono when we wrap this up. This is something that I love. I wonder if I've got the art right here in the office. This is by a beautiful artist. She made this for me, and because a lot of the work that we do together is, this is please forgive me, I forgive you, thank you, I love you, or please release me, I release you. Just amazing art. I need to write her name on here. She's just extraordinary, so we can often share how that shows up. One of the questions that, again, if you want, there's several people, so it's hard for me to tell. If you want me to bring you on camera or to answer a question, and I do see, okay, beautiful. We are going to end with Ho'oponopono when that comes up. Disha shared, and so let's see if we can get Disha on. Hi, love. Can you turn your camera on, or is the camera? Can you hear me? I can hear you.
Hold on. I can't figure out how to get the camera.
There's a camera button right next to the microphone at the bottom.
Okay, I think it is there, right there.
Yay! Oh, I'm so happy to see you. Woohoo! So, what's coming up for you, my love?
Well, it's been a transformational period of time. I got on to the call late, so I apologize for missing out. But I'm just wondering what may be coming through for me. I had a final interview today. I just got back to my friend's place from viewing a place, and I'm like kind of on edge with a lot of things, and just wondering how it's all going to play out, and if I'm going to need to come down to LA for a little bit, or what, like, just how things are playing out.
So
Yeah.
it's so interesting because you are one of the best manifestors. It's extraordinary. You let yourself believe what comes through for you is amazing. And so I am noticing so much of that in your environment. And the only way that it gets muted sometimes is if you want it too much. Like you'll put this in your hand, you'll put this in your hand, you'll have all of
Yeah.
the stuff, and you're not empty. So it's a good thing for you to do is to say, okay, I want this, this, and this, or what you would have me want, or better. So it's the trust factor to say, okay, I want this, I want this, I want this. And now I'm going to actively put it down. I'm going to stop looking for signs of it. I'm just going to put it all down. And I'm going to fully trust that it's going to be each of those things or better. So I'm coming empty. I will say this another way. You will build things before they're fully landed. And because you start building on them before they're fully landed in multiple spaces, then you get afraid it might not happen. Everything falls. I'm going to say that another way. And I heard T. Harv Eker say this. He said, the universe loves you. The universe is like a loving uncle, and it takes you into an ice cream shop, and it has you pick out everything that you want, and your uncle says, get whatever you want. And so you look at all of the scoops, and you're like, ooh, I want the vanilla ice cream, please. And so you get the vanilla ice cream. And as you're walking out the door, you have like one lick and you drop all of that ice cream. And you look up at your uncle and you're like, oh, I dropped my ice cream. I want ice cream. And so your loving uncle, the loving universe, takes you back to pick. But now you caught a picture of the 3-scoop ice cream. And you're like, uncle, I want 3 scoops. I want vanilla, I want strawberry, and I want chocolate. And your uncle, and I want that covered maybe in chocolate syrup. And your uncle looks at you and is a very loving uncle and a very smart uncle. Does your uncle buy that for you?
I don't know. Yes.
Okay. So this is the key. This is the key. A loving uncle does not give it to you, because walking out the door, you couldn't handle 1 scoop. You didn't handle the 1 scoop. And so the loving uncle will say, oh my gosh, the loving uncle would downsize or give you skills to hold steady your hand for that 1 scoop. And so when you are asking for 1, 2, and you've got this one that's almost landed, you just get so grateful for that. You're like, thank you, loving universe. Thank you, uncle, for this. I'm so happy to receive this. And even if I don't receive it, thank you for sending me signals that I could receive it. I will receive it, and I'm so grateful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And so now you've got this. You can put it in your pocket. And you're thinking about all the other things you wanted, but it's really important to not build this on top of this on top of this. It's to really focus, single joyful intent to receive it fully, to give thanks for it fully, and then to add in more as you've done the gratitude work, the gratefulness work, the really bringing it and carrying it beautifully. Did that make sense for you?
It does, but then it doesn't, but it does.
So, Disha, this is the big thing. When you get a chance, I want you to go back and watch this and do the animals and do the road and do all of that exercise. And then I want to make sure that you fully get grateful. I mean, really, really grateful. And in the grateful, great attitude, all of the things that are coming in and landing in your environment, you can raise your frequency the more grateful you get for all of the things that you already have and are tucked away. And you can get grateful for all of the evidence of the things that have shown up that you don't want as well. So one of the things that you can say is, wow, I'm really grateful. I know I don't want that anymore. I'm so glad that showed up so that the universe could show me that's not okay for me. I needed to have that conversation, that experience, that whatever it was, so that you could really know what you wanted. And a single-minded focus, having a single-minded focus about your subject. And when for example, when I met Greg, my husband, many, many years ago, I had written, before I got really, really wounded and hurt, I'd written down, I want to be in a marriage for 50 plus years. I want to grow old. And back then I thought 50, years of marriage would be old. Now with the walls and the teachings and the technologies that I'm understanding, old is like 500, old is 3,000, old is really old. 50 years, there's nothing to that. It'll go by like that. I really want you to get grateful and to really express, truly express to others, truly express to the universe, truly, if you eat the ice cream, if you receive the ice cream, if you carried the ice cream all the way, but you never share about or feel it or give gratitude for it, then you just consumed it without amplifying it. So if you experienced it and consumed it and didn't feel the ice cream, then you never expanded on it. And when you go back to the ice cream shop with your loving uncle and you didn't give the feedback signals that, yes, I'm ready to handle 2 scoops or 3 scoops, because I'm grateful. I experienced that in multiple ways. I experienced it by consuming it. I experienced it in my heart as a sign that I can trust the universe. I experienced it as, wow, the ice cream makers and all of the universe had set this up for me long before I was born. And if you experience it on multiple levels, what a great attitude, you can create so much with that. And so that would be your experience for this week, is to really get into, what can I give a lot of gratitude for? What have I experienced that I might not have picked up and amplified the receiving of it, the consuming of it, the wholeness of it. And it takes a little bit of energy, but that will help connect and correct and lift your frequency and your ability to receive even more. So thank you for being part of this and for being part of the Miracle Makers. I can't wait what happens for you when you go back and listen and experience this again. And I'm so glad that you're doing so many things in so many areas. You are literally changing yourself overnight. You think thoughts and you shift and you change and you shift and you change. And you can receive how the universe is protecting you from a lot of funky energy. Anything else you want to share, love?
No, that makes sense. Because I've been feeling like I've been not experiencing, or like numb, or not feeling, or like I'll look back and I don't know. I don't do this, but the only way that I could like equate it to is, people who are always like posting pictures online about their experiences, but not actually experiencing the experiences. So that's how I've been feeling, even though I'm not posting anything online. But it's just like the posting online for me is like looking back and realizing and thinking, okay, well, wait, now, was that good? Did I like that? How did that, like, what happened? Yeah, that's interesting. So, yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Mm-hmm.
And I do love that you're going to experience life fully, from instead of just feeling like you're a picture in a frame or a picture in someone else's reality, to really go in and experience it and feel great. And this moon, this blue moon that's coming up, it's really, really interesting. There's a blue moon coming up. The moon is the way that it has an elliptical orbit around Earth, and where it's going to meet the Earth as it's a full moon this time is closer to the Earth. So it's going to look, and we're going to experience it as being larger and having more of an impact. The moon has an impact on our body. It has an impact on water. It gravitational and otherwise as well. We're following this for some time. So it's a blue moon, 2 full moons in 1 month. It's a full moon, and then there is a lunar eclipse. And my understanding is much of the world is able to see it in totality. Much of the world is only going to see partial, but there's actually going to be red in the moon as well. And the way that the horizon, the way that the sunlight reflects, right as the sun is setting wherever you might be, it's going to be a beautiful red blood moon, they call it, as well. To be out and to go out, much like you think of Mardi Gras, much like you think of Rio or Carnival, to really go out and celebrate and really go out sort of costumey, like in a costume. Giving out energy is an ideal way to be around this moon coming up, the 31st. If you're with your family, it doesn't have to be a lot of people, but just the energy of celebration, of joy, of getting out under the moon. It's a great time to also really wolves howling at the moon, making sound, vocalizing. It's a really beautiful evening for amplifying your voice and being in places with an amplified, natural, either human or sound baths, out in the open, outside, under the moon environment. So I really hope you will do that. Every person that's here, I'm going to see if you don't know how to raise your hand. There's quite a few participants that have said, gosh, I don't want to be seen, or I don't have a question. I just wanted to experience this. So go ahead and raise your hand or send me a note. I think we got to, I'm going to go through. Vanessa, I'm unmuting you again because I know we got,
hello.
hi.
Hi. Oh, no, I just everything that everyone's saying is relating to me as well. So I'm just getting I'm just learning from everyone. It's wonderful.
Awesome.
So I don't really have a specific question. Thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome. Thank you for being here. I'm going to go to those that didn't comment. Jocelyn, can you hear me? Ooh, I'm going to try and unmute you one more time. Ooh,
Hi.
hi.
Hi. Yes, I can hear you.
Awesome. Is there anything that you want to share? Anything I can answer for you?
Well, I'm not sure. I'm feeling very ungrounded this evening. I've been out of town for 2 weeks. Just got back home, so I just tuned in last minute this evening to really just listen and be here and take in all the energy from the group. It's really wonderful to hear everyone. I guess if I did have any sort of question, it may be finding a way to reground myself and listen to myself and listen to what I know that is true and to stop running from it. I don't know if that's a question.
That is a great question. You know what's interesting is it feels like you haven't been in your own space. I know you just said you've been traveling, but where you are right now, you haven't walked around the space and owned the space again in your home or where you are. Do you want to talk just a little bit about that?
Well, I've just been living with a friend temporarily for probably 6 or 7 months now. So
Okay,
I
so
don't
what
miss
I'd
them. It's
love
just
for
not
you to
my home.
Yeah, okay. And that's part of it. That's part of the reason it didn't feel like when you're home now, it doesn't feel grounded.
Yeah.
And so really stepping into and so it's interesting because like it feels even though you're grateful and happy in a lot of ways, it feels like you're a little bit caged. And so that's some of the energy that's coming through. So the bathroom and where you get into peace is really, really important for you. And so I would really invite you to do something that really lets you, whether it's going into the bathroom and cleaning it up and then lighting candles and being in there with yourself and owning that space within the space that you're in will help you own yourself again and feel grounded again. And the other thing is there's that you're dehydrated.
Oh, yeah. Very much so. I just found video. Hi.
So let's see. Let me see if I can put you on video. Thank you for finding video. So let me go and see if we can find that. Let's see. There's so many names, but not a lot of people want to be seen. So I want to make sure I don't accidentally turn them on. Yay, here we go. Yay, awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So you were so stunning. And it's thank you for being on with us. And energetically, what I mean by stunning is your energy is really beautiful. And the field that's around you has a lot that it wants to give, and it's really learning how to step back into itself. And so the trip was really good for you in a lot of ways because it reminded you of yourself. And that was such an important energy to step into for yourself.
Yeah.
So let's go back this way. And then anything else that we can chime in for you?
I guess just finding my direction and finding my path and listening to it. I think I waver so much.
Yeah, it feels like you're a little bit out on giving and receiving is interesting. Your shoulder, so you've got a little bit of soreness right back here on both. But tell me about that just a little bit. And you're usually not sore. You're usually not. So tell me just a little bit about the soreness right here.
I think it's just from carrying around my nephew, who is an infant, who is 14 pounds. the baby I was not used to. So that I think was, being more hunched over in the pain up here. Perhaps.
The pain up there. And so it's so interesting, and I'm so glad that we're talking about this. This has to do with you have to put down a lot of the ideas of who you thought you were going to be. You kind of stepped into that a little bit, putting down the ideas of who you thought you were going to be and step into who you actually are. And who you actually are is so extraordinary. It doesn't mean that you don't do what you have plans to do, but you have to put down what you think people are thinking or what you thought where you would be. That's because you're really strong. You're really strong in your physical body and holding someone and handling them and all of that stuff. So there's a lot there. So it's really putting down who you thought you were going to be, Jocelyn, and really stepping into who you're here to be.
Yes.
And it's a beautiful energy because no one else can do what you're here to do. And you kind of had to go through a little bit of the journey, and it's going to make sense for you by like May, April. It's going to make a lot of sense why you went through the journey the way you went through it so far. It's better than you could have expected. So to really let yourself be in that and receive that.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. And again, if you will use the let's see if we go right here for a second. If you will use the little chat box, let's see. I have a 773 number. Hello. Can you hear me?
Hi.
Hi.
I can.
Wonderful. Did you have a question?
I couldn't figure out how to get it on my computer. I do have a question. Can you get in contact with my guardian angel and thank them for keeping me alive last night?
I can feel it. Yes. Wow.
Yeah, I had a bad incident on I-4. My driver's side window just spontaneously combusted, and I was in the middle lane with cars around me. I didn't know if I got shot or if somebody threw a BB or rock, or I don't know if it's something flew off the truck. I still don't know, but it was a nightmare.
I'm so sorry. I'm so glad you're safe. And I know you know this, but I'm going to say it again. There are a lot of people that are holding you in prayer, and you know that, and you handled it beautifully, really, really beautifully, because it's like a stunt car driver kind of thing. But you didn't know what it was, but you responded like a pro. So tell me about heat. What's happening with
about
heat?
what?
Heat. 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 Being hot.
Tell you about it?
Yeah, just tell me a little bit, because your body's showing up as like there's something with heat.
I'm not sure.
So did you go work out today and you're overly hot?
No. I've actually had a headache most of the day. I've just been like blah.
Blah. Okay, so that's where the heat is, and you're usually never hot. But again, you're dehydrated too, which is very unusual for you. You know, it's interesting because you've got to really want to be here. That's the heat, passion, fire coming up, and you're so beautiful in so many ways. That so lovely. I'm going to see if I can find. I know you're not on. We won't put you on video, and I won't say anything. But it's so beautiful that you're here and that you continue over and over again. All of these little miracles that show up in your life. Your guardian angels are with you quite a bit. And then this has to do with really being passionate and connecting and doing even more sort of the happy, joy, go lucky work. You're so fun and funny, and yet you don't see that about yourself all that much.
Mhm.
So anything else? So your guardian angels feel really, really thanked. There is a lot of like numbers that are showing up in your environment. And so I don't know if it's that you're measuring things right now, and that's why there's a lot of numbers, or if it's about making sure that you're like studying and passing stuff coming up. That's what I'm seeing in your environment, like a lot of sort of little papers, lots of little numbers, lots of guardian attention on you right now, because you are wanted and you're needed, and we're so glad you're here.
Thank you.
Awesome. Anything else that comes up?
I guess I'm just still trying to find my way.
And I would really, if you were looking at your life from the outside in, you would think that you were living the greatest adventure ever. And the inner language for you to start really adopting is, I'm on the grandest adventure ever. And it's sort of like Indiana Jones going through multiple, like you're on a hunt, but not for, it's like, it's not for a particular outcome. It's to feel great, to feel good, feel satisfied, to feel really, really just feel. Not be, not do, but to feel. Does that make sense?
Wasn't he looking for a treasure though?
Right. It's so funny. This reminds me of a story that a grandfather gave his grandson, a rock. And the grandson, like all of the little treasures, all of these other things. And because he treasured his grandfather so much, that was the only thing that the grandson carried around. And at some point, he kept it so safe, and he kept it so serene, and everything he could do to keep this rock protected, he did. And one day, he accidentally dropped the rock. And the rock fell. And when the rock fell, he looked at it and it opened up, and there was all of this treasure inside the rock. And so
wow.
It's the energy, the body is, all of it is sort of on carrying these precious things, and not necessarily just, it's not fully opening up and feeling everything that you can feel, because there's some energy of either you can feel it when you've done something or accomplished something, or that you're going to feel once something else occurs, rather than just, and some level of, let me protect everything so it doesn't fall or doesn't get damaged, when that exact action is keeping the treasures from being available. Does that make sense? Okay. I love you. I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you. I love you too.
Yay. I think that might be it for us. And so together, I would love for us to, there was one other person that didn't send a note or anything. So Leland, can you hear me? Leland, can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh,
Can you hear me?
God, I can hear you. Is there anything that I can answer or share with you?
I've been trying for quite a while to be able to connect with you, but I did in the last 5 minutes or so. I'd like to ask you the question, what, if anything, do you see that's exceptional that's going to be happening in this year, 2018, in UDC?
In UDC,
in our work.
what I really see is it's interesting because I feel like a lot of organizations will be connecting and growing themselves. And one of the things I feel like is other organizations are going to be, instead of labeling themselves separate, there'll be an umbrella of activities that are happening through Unity and Diversity Council. So I'm going to say that another way. Things that were sort of different projects, different things are now going to label themselves as a project of Unity and Diversity Council, and that their particular project is a subset of this other organization. And so what I see is a lot of maybe nonprofits that aren't fully formed coming in and doing work with Unity and Diversity Council and branching. So it's like an umbrella organization with at least 5 different already cohesive, pre-formed organizations that are bringing people in and bringing in more resources.
Yeah, let me give you a specific on that. There was someone we've known for a long time, and he donated a large amount several years ago, and just in the last week, he came back and donated specifically $20,000 to help our work along. And so that was a big surprise and a big help.
That's so wonderful. And I see other organizations coming in, and I would put the invite out to say, we are a well-established nonprofit. Let us know about your ideas or your organization, and we can possibly, those that resonate with us, and begin inviting in organizations to come under the umbrella, the branch of Unity and Diversity Council. I love the way some churches and some synagogues and some centers will set up branches underneath them. And so like though a church might call it a different ministry or to really invite UDC to say we want to have a division that's dealing with youth, and so looking for an organization that works with youth that's that might be fully formed, looking for an organization or partially formed that can then bring in, that you can then partner with underneath to work on their ideas, they work on your ideas. One that's in education or in nonprofit world that builds education resource in various ways to really bring that in. So that's very exciting, Leland.
Thank you, Sarah. I appreciate it. It's good to talk with you and appreciate your support.
Oh, you're so welcome. I love Unity and Diversity Council. They are a beautiful organization. Leland has been doing this. Is it now, you're going into the 52nd year?
That's correct, yes. Yeah, we had our 50th anniversary 2 years ago.
And so 50 years of uniting people for peace, uniting and creating events and organizations that really have different people of different faiths and different belief systems dialogue to create peace. And so you want to look at, Leland, can you give us your website?
Yes, udcworld.org.
udcworld.org, and you host events every Sunday in the Los Angeles area, and then so beautifully the Parliament of World Religions. You're there, you're on the Southern Council of Parliament of World Religions as well. Beautifully organized organization that really keeps and has been working with, like the first event you guys did was 2 weeks long with Stevie Wonder, with Aretha Franklin, a festival, and you've done amazing, extraordinary work since, many extraordinary things since the time that you guys have been together. Is there one thing that you want to highlight that you're really, that you can share a story, Leland, about Unity and Diversity Council?
Can I share a story?
Yes, please, share a story.
Well, what you mentioned was the Peace Sunday in the Rose Bowl, and that wasn't directly ours, but we've been connected with it and been doing Peace Sundays ever since then, and so that's very much a part of our heritage, sort of indirectly, and so that helps to keep us going.
Which is so beautiful. One of you organized a peace wheel and divided this huge work piece into 12 different sectors, and how
That's right.
we can feel peace in different areas in our life, and really to give great language and great words to all of the nuances of peace. And so it's really beautiful, but they really highlighted you and thanked you with the work that you did at the 2 weeks of work with the peace organizations at the Rose Bowl. And you guys brought quite a few people to help, and for the Peace Sunday. There have been Peace Sundays ever since. So thank you.
Right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sarah. It's been good to talk with you, and best wishes.
Best wishes. All right, with that, I'm going to go back here for a second, and I think unless you send me a note at this point, we're going to go through Ho'oponopono, and we're going to do some work. And I'm going to see if I can unmute everybody so we can really do this together. So this exercise of clear mind, really just removing any thoughts that remove you from being present with us now. Clear mind. And imagine a beautiful sky, the sky outside where you are right now, moving through your mind. Any thoughts can be cleared. Clear mind. Breathing in some of the sky, breathing in some of that energy. Breathing can really clear any energy in us, and feeling our hearts and feeling the place that on earth, a landscape or a location that you feel safest in, a beautiful piece of land. Some people will imagine the ocean and just a beautiful ocean. I imagine a rose garden and being in the center of the rose garden. And I let my heart just open. Some people will imagine a redwood forest. Open heart. Let your heart feel open and smell those smells. Breathe in the clean air, and then feeling into your belly. And my hand went on my heart when we were talking about the heart. My hand is on my belly to really go into relaxed being and feeling just the most beautiful lake. And I will often imagine the lake close to my sister's house in Florida. Sometimes I also think of my grandparents' lake, the lake that was in Mississippi. And any energy, my body, all of me relaxes, relaxed being. And when I get there, clear mind, open heart, relaxed being, I will think of our beautiful earth. I will think of all of the people that are on this earth. And as we're rotating around the sun, following the sun, and as the moon is doing its orbit around us, I imagine the moon, every time people or myself connect with the moon, I think, gosh, they can really release me. Please release me. They can release who I was in the past. They can release who they were with me in the past. Please release me. I imagine all of the peoples, all of the energy, everything on earth, when it looks at the moon, saying, I release you. Please release me. Releasing it in my breath, releasing it in my mind, releasing it in my relaxed body, my emotions. I release you. Please release me. Another way to say that is, I'm sorry for the way I might have shown up for you. I release you for the way that you showed up for me. Thank you. Again, imagining the moon or seeing the moon, or every time you connect with the moon, I release you. Please release me. Thank you. I love you. And I
Blessings.
yeah, it's so beautiful. I really want you to think about this for a second. So beautifully. If we can think about just for a second how extraordinary it is that we can forgive a past experience, we can forgive another person. Whatever we don't forgive, someone else has to. Every item in my beautiful home that I don't give away or deal with, someone else has to deal with. And every emotion or every energy that I haven't fully embraced and taken in and maybe given or cherished, someone else is going to have to take that item or that energy and turn it into something. And I will often say this way, any trapped negative emotion can be released into the universe from this beautiful Polynesian Ho'oponopono prayer. Any negative trapped emotion can be released into the universe and recreate a positive emotion. So if I give this beautiful mug, this was given to me by Alana, I just adore her. I cherish this, I enjoy it. So I'm holding on to this. And my kids, who might have seen me drink out of this most of my life, since I've gotten it, might, once I'm complete with it, I no longer need it. They might be able to share the story around it, give it back to Alana, give it to grandkids, give it because it was cherished. Anything that has been given to me that I don't accept, and it might be my parents' thing or my grandparents' energy, emotion, thoughts, physical things, anything that I haven't dealt with, either released and gotten rid of or cherished to some degree, then that item has power over me. I have to do something with it. And if I don't do something with it, then my kids or the people that they have to do, the people that come after me have to do something with it. And so thank you for giving yourself to this energy of remaking yourself so that you're You are the miracle maker. Thank you for giving yourself this miracle makeover. And I can't wait till next month. And it's great to reach out to me by email. And if you're coming to Conscious Life Expo, let me know. We will save or try to save. Make sure you get a reading while you're there, a little mini reading. Love you so much. Thank you so much. Happy everything. Thank you. Bye for now. And I'm going to unmute everybody at the same time. So if there's anything that you want to say, Jocelyn, you're unmuted. 773. You don't have to speak. So if you don't want to speak, it's not going to show you on the screen. But go ahead and say hello. You're all being unmuted one at a time. Some people have muted themselves, so I can't unmute you. You'll have to unmute yourself. If you can unmute yourself. Hi.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello. Yay.
We're all here.
Yay, I'm so glad that you guys are here. And we won't go to any screen, so no one will see you. But if there's anything that you want to share, any points that you got, or anything you want to say to any of the people that were on, please go ahead and say hello. I'm still unmuting people. So anything you want to say.
Hi, Dr. Sarah. I'll see you at Conscious Life. If you need volunteers, just let me know. I'll be there on Sunday.
You'll be there on Sunday, of course. Yes, thank you so much.
Yay!
So send me an email, and that's if you're coming to volunteer, we'll get you a pass as well. Conscious Life Expo has a great volunteer program. I've got a great one as well, and so thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. I'll send you an email soon.
Okay, thank you, thank you. Anyone else want to say hello? Everybody's unmuted that hasn't muted themselves. Okay, beautiful. Any points that you really, anything you were going home with that was so beautiful for you, or aha moments?
Your hand movements about how to collect the energy and break it. That's really cool. Do you have to like go all the way to the ground on your feet?
Oh, you can imagine it with your mind. So once you're at your body, at your belly, once you're right at your belly, you can imagine it going all the way down to your feet. Okay. Because your hands actually connect with all of your feet. So you can literally collect all of the energy with your hands. Oh. You don't have to go in unless you feel like you're not embodying your body.
Okay.
So sometimes people will get frozen body parts, like their legs will literally freeze, and that's a good time to tap your body. They will feel stuck. And so in those times, that's a great time to literally touch your body. But if not, you can stop just at your belly. You can put your hand right at your belly, and that'll work because it's connected to the rest. Again, once you get good at this, you can just do it with your hands, because literally all your hands literally know. Like if you're about to trip, your hands go out to catch you. They know what your feet are doing. Your hand knows what your brain is doing. Your hand knows there's more nerves here to know exactly what's happening all over your body. And so once you get really good at this, you can do it just with your hands.
Oh, thank you so much.
Doing it at least 3 times will help you get good at it.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else? Any other aha moments? Awesome. I love you guys. Thank you so much. And so we'll see you again really, really soon. We are having a moon celebration. You just have to let me know, or make sure you're on my email list or texting me actively. Please feel free to text me, and I'll tell you about the stuff we're doing in Los Angeles, Conscious Life Expo, by email, by text. And I love you guys. We'll see you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.